In 1716, the town of Manchester, with a population of about 17,000, was the centre of a small but expanding cotton industry, whose main product was cloth, a mixture of cotton and linen yarns. By national standards, both town and industry were small. Norwich, for example, had over 50,000 inhabitants, Bristol about 100,000, and London dwarfed all other towns with a population of well over 500,000. The cotton industry produced an annual output worth of £600,000, whilst exports alone from the country's giant woolen industry totalled £5,500,000 per year. According to a survey of 1835, there were 1,113 cotton mills in Britain, and of these, 934 were in the northwest of England. Manchester was the capital of cotton, and as the industry grew, so did Cottonopolis. The open space which lay between Manchester and its surrounding towns was shrinking rapidly, and by the time of the middle of the century, these towns were so close together and had so much in common that we can consider each of them to be a part of a single entity, a giant Manchester with a population of 1 million people. With 1 million inhabitants, the region obviously produced many other goods and services. Commercial organisations such as banking, insurance and shopkeeping were important, and many thousands of people provided personal services. Most members of the middle class employed at least one servant, and the 1851 census tells us that nearly 16,000 women worked as domestic servants in Manchester and Salford towns alone. Coal was mined from many parts of the area. The Duke of Bridgewater's mines at Worsley were well known on account of their significance to the early development of the canal system. John Atkin in 1795 stressed the importance of mines around Oldham, Ashton, Duckingfield, Hyde, Newton and Denton. Coal mining was by nature a highly localised industry, for while there were nearly 2,000 miners in Oldham in 1851, in Stockport there were only 26. The region produced manufactured goods in addition to cotton and machinery, and these included chemicals, silk, paper, rope, iron, bricks, clothing and glass. By 1851, the transformation of Manchester into an industrial metropolis was complete. Manchester relied on the canal systems to bring coal from nearby towns such as Worsley. Worsley was the very first canal system to be linked to the Manchester. It was completed in 1762 and was known as the Duke of Bridgewater's Canal. In 1776, the Duke of Bridgewater's Canal extended across North Cheshire to Runcorn, this halving the cost of the transport of raw cotton from Liverpool, pioneering a process which ended in industrial Manchester being at the core of a complex of waterways. By 1821, there was 3 routes from Liverpool to Manchester: the Mersey and Irwell navigation of 1736, the Bridgewater Canal, and the Leeds-Liverpool Canal. Manchester was nicknamed the workshop of the world, and this was very fitting when Manchester contributed 40% towards the UK's exports alone. In today's money, the value of exports from 1854 to 56 would have been 3,895,470 and 51 pence. With Manchester's newfound wealth came the Central Library, followed 5 years later by the Grammar School, and only a year afterwards the first theatre. This was for the middle class of society to enjoy.